Bryan Callen.
Bryan Callen?
Yeah.
And you, LA, New York?
LA, New York, both.
LA, New York.
More LA, 8 months of the year. I'm doing a show out there, so I've spent like 8 months out there, and then I come back and.
Did you start here and then go?
Yeah. I started here, started doing stand-up and Luna Lounge, Rebar, and then I got a show called Mad TV, so I've been doing that for 2 years.
Wow.
And that's right, I'm on TV, and then I'm back here, man, and it's great. I'm getting up and just doing stand-up, and I'm kind of like the Marlon Brando of comedy. Just a rocked out ass, great bone structure, tapered waist, broad shoulders. People at home are laughing.
So how long have you been doing stand-up first?
I did it for like 6 months before I got the show, and then I got lucky. But I was an actor. I went to Neighborhood Playhouse for 2 years, and then I did a lot of theater out of there, and then I started writing plays because I couldn't get cast in the roles I wanted to get cast in, and then I was terrible, but at least people would kind of laugh. So I said maybe I'll try stand-up, and I got up and started doing stand-up, and I noticed the crowds after when I'd be doing stand-up would be going. Like in unison. So it was tough to hear me over the microphone after I tell my joke. So I think that's a good sign. And then Fox came along and gave me an audition, and I got it.
Out of stand-up? Got you the audition?
Yeah, pretty much. No, actually no. A guy named Ken Trush, who's my manager now, saw me at Rebar. I got up there and then I started working with him, and that was the first thing he submitted me on. So I got lucky, and I booked the show, and it went.
What did you do that night at Rebar?
I did a monologue on skinhead pigeons. How I ran into a bunch of skinhead pigeons. They plucked their heads bald and, had like tattoos like ducks suck and nesting in trees is for pussies and this whole thing, And it was kind of interesting. Hi, this is Liz Lewis. I think, why don't you come sit next to me and we'll talk.
Okay.
Liz Lewis, a fantastic casting director extraordinaire.
Get out of here. Kevin, come on in.
Kevin Cash going in now.
So what's like the worst thing that's happening on stage since you've been doing this?
The worst thing that's ever happened to me on stage is 3 minutes of silence, and the only way out is through. Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks, sorry. The camera tends to lure me. The worst thing I think is just the 3 minutes of silence. I was doing something on turtles on a turtle that didn't have a shell, and I was trying to experiment, and I had my shirt off, and I think that was probably a distraction in a bad way. At Luna, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, or actually at the Rebar used to be.
Have you performed any regular stand-up?
Yeah, Stand-Up New York, Comic Strip, Boston Comedy Club, not Caroline's, but Catch Rising Star.
You didn't notice the difference between them?
Just the difference is like alternative and alternative. You can eat it and you're cool, and you can comment on how badly you're eating it. Whereas a regular stand-up club, you got people out there from Bridge and Tunnel crowd or whoever they are who want to laugh like this. So you gotta have stuff, you gotta have that 5-10 minutes that you've been working on and that down cold it's gonna work. But I think that's a cop-out too. That's not exciting to me. I like getting up and trying to do something that I don't know if it's gonna work. Like last night I did something, I'd written it that morning, and I almost screwed up because you gotta get it in your body. But it turned out to be okay. That's a rush. That's a good feeling. But then ultimately you get a half hour of stuff that, I'm talking like I've been doing this for 10 years, but I think from acting, on stage, I think you can act, stand up is pretty easy, or it's easier. God, I can just see a bunch of stand-up comics going, like Dave Attell going, shut up. Who is this guy? I don't even know him. Nobody knows me.
So who are some of the comics you like today?
I like Dave Attell. I think Dave Attell's hilarious. I think Mark Maron's hilarious. Because they're very honest, I think Mark Maron's very honest. He's very, he's just about what he, he's very raw and he's very honest. He brings out who he is. I like Joe Rogan a lot for that reason. Joe Rogan's on News Radio. Joe's religious when it comes to stand-up. He does it every night. He can never hang out. Yeah, and he's a friend of mine in LA. I'll drop names. And but he's great. No, Mary. But people like that who are what they are concerned with is talking about what makes them who they are, and everything else forget about it, whether it's funny or not.
So why do you think these guys? I've been wondering this, like guys like Dave Attell, Mark Maron, they're really good, honest comedians.
They've been doing it for 10 years.
Translated into like a show or something.
Well,
they just sit there.
It's all a different thing. That's why. First, they've been doing it for 10 years. They have their thing. And Dave Attell, from what I hear, will do 3 sets a night, and that's why he's so good. More than that, 4 sets a night. But I think stand-up comedy and acting are different animals. They're completely different. You know, they're two totally different disciplines. Great actors who do great stage stuff could never get up on stage and do stand-up. They'd be terrified. And I know a lot of stand-up comedians who could never get up on stage and act in a dramatic way because there's so many different things. You do stand-up, you got a monologue. You know what you're going to do. You've been working on it forever. It's a different art form. And I think, you know, I have a lot of respect for stand-up comics, but you can't tell me that. I think that. You know, when you see a great actor on stage, I'm not talking about film, I'm talking about stage. That's a different art form. It's a higher art form.
Right.
And I don't care what anybody says. That's the truth. You know, great acting is a higher art form. It takes years. It's not about just having a monologue and working off the audience. It's about, you know, 1,000 different things. You know, and so I think stand-up comedians have that improv, that confidence and that sense of humor. But it takes more than that to be an actor. And I'm not saying I have it, but I'm saying that that's what you have to work on as well. And a lot of people, I think a lot of networks have made a mistake of hiring stand-up comics who are just stand-up comics who've never had any acting, and then they pay for it later because the guy can't. And I'm not saying Mark Maron or David Tell can't do that. I've never seen him act, but I'm just saying that, you know, that is.
I'm not a fan of this. Comics getting a development deal and then boom, acting.
It depends, you know. I'm trying to get a development deal, but you know, I think I'm more of an actor than a stand-up comedian. I'm sure a lot of stand-up comedians would tell you that. You know, it's not like I go out there with, you know. I mean, my buddy Sam Brown, another one I think is amazing. He can do an hour and a half of comedy, and people, I cry. I cannot stop laughing. He's hilarious. He's a maniac. You know, I've never seen him act, but you know.
He can act.
Yeah, I'm sure he can act. I mean, he's a very talented guy all the way around. But you know, it just depends. It's a crummy business. It's a look.
Did he get a deal?
I don't know. No, I hope so. But he's funny. I mean, Sam is amazing. He's another one of my favorites.
Who would you say has helped you the most?
Helped me the most?
Yeah.
I don't know. No stand-up comedian.
No one would help you as a stand-up?
No. I don't think you can be helped that way, really. I don't think so. I think you got to just have an instinct for what works and then go for it. And the only way you do it is getting up stage and failing and trying it again and again until it works. If you don't have that instinct, then you shouldn't be doing any comedy. Mm-hmm. But you know, you have heroes. You have people that you look up to.
Are the people at Mad TV getting thrown in movies like the people on SNL?
No. Orlando Jones, who I forgot to mention, an amazingly talented guy. He's doing a Larry David movie, and he's one of the leads in it. You know, Orlando's got 1,000 characters. You know.
So Mad TV's not getting the respect.
No, we don't get promoted, and it's not. I don't think it's run the way it should be. I think there's too much emphasis on making it more like Saturday Night Live, which is a huge mistake. It's a huge mistake. They should keep it. You know, as much its own entity as possible. What I mean by that is keeping the parodies there and just having these 8 people there, right, and doing what they do best. You don't bring in stars. We can't get stars. We get Ike Turner. They get Robert De Niro. Why are you competing? You know, we don't get musical guests. They get Bush and Tina Turner. We can't get a musical guest. Besides Porky and the Juice Pigs. You ever heard of them? Hilarious, but that's our musical guest.
Have you had stand-up comedians on there?
Yeah, you know, we have comedians come on and do stuff, yeah. I don't like stand-up comedians mostly, especially the ones that done our show. They're usually really, it's like, who are you? I won't mention any names, but some of the guys that have done the show annoy me. Throw them in a flying headlock, you know. I go up, I want to make them feel at home. Hey, how you doing, man? Nice to, you know. Yeah.
Really?
Some of the big ones, too.